Hello, CH viewers. Welcome to this episode of Season 3 of Counseling for Higher Education. Today I'm going to talk about how to qualify and face industry job interviews after PhD. And in this episode and in further 2 episodes of this season, I will share my experience to face and to qualify industry job interviews after doing a PhD or a postdoc. After when I was involved in pursuing my PhD, I was interested to go for the industrial job, and that's why I applied for many big industries for a particular position based on my doctoral degree, and I'm also on postdoc, and hence these episodes will be based on my experience to give you a perspective on what industrial jobs are and what do they require, what are those steps and interview rounds in this overall application for the industry. So let's begin. When you apply for the industry, it actually begins with application of the position and by submitting your CV or resume and cover letter. And to know how to build an effective CV and how to prepare an effective CV, a resume, you should go and check my another video on preparing an effective CV. There you will get more insight how to build that for an industrial job. And to draft a cover letter, you can also look into my another video where I have given full detail about drafting a cover letter for the industrial job. And you know, the industrial jobs actually it starts with the CV and cover letter that forms the basis for the HR to shortlist your CV to begin the interview round. So here is one advice, that be always truthful and reflect truth in your CV and drafting your cover letter. Never lie in the CV or in the cover letter, and also when you will be interviewed. In general, when your CV has been shortlisted, and then there begins the main 3 rounds, which are number 1, HR round. It can be 1 or 2 rounds of HR. Can be done by a talent acquisition partner or the HR department of the company. It can be telephonic, it can be Skype. The second round is a technical round, and this round can be 1 or 2 times, and it can be telephonic, but one will be a face-to-face technical round. And there comes, after you qualify the HR round and the technical round, you will come into the final round of HR where there will be salary negotiation. So I will discuss all these 3 rounds in these episodes of season 3. So I was also interviewed. I applied for many big industries and I was interviewed by the multinational companies targeting my specific area of expertise. And it started with the telephonic round of HR, and the question that the HR guys they asked me, that I will put here in front of you. Now I'll share all those questions so that you can also get an insight about those questions, and you can prepare your interview based on my feedback or my suggestions so that you can qualify and you can crack those industry job interviews. And remember, going into industry after doing PhD is not so tough actually, and many people think that it's very tough because PhD is kind of a doctorate and then you go into academic, but no, it's not true. There are many positions in industry which requires a PhD guy, and for example, if you go into R&D and if you have a senior level role, then the industry can hire you for those type of position. So the HR guy will call you, and then they will explain the background of the company, the job position that you have applied, all the details of the job position, and also they will start assessing your interest and your motivation, and they will try to know about your background, your both educational and your professional as well as skills that you have accumulated all those years of experience. They will also try to assess you, and it's very important, your expectation, your salary expectation, because based on this salary expectation they will check that whether they will proceed with you because your salary lies within their range, or they will not proceed with you because your salary expectation is very high. So I will also tell you what to answer these questions. And one thing, keep in mind that the first round of the HR interview they will always try to trap you into salary expectation. For example, CTC, salary, present salary drawn, what is your expectation, and beware that you should not give any figure, any number in this initial round of HR interview. So I will tell you what to answer and how to answer these questions, and I will also tell you how to handle these awkward moments of industry job interview, especially in HR, in technical round and in the salary negotiation round. So here we begin with, so every interview that I gave, and I was invited to be interviewed, it started always with share your story or tell me your background. So what I told is that I started with I explained about myself and my country where I belong, and my educational qualifications, my professional experience all these years, the present position that I am working in, and the company, the name of the company or the name of the organization, for how long I was working, and then what kind of skills I gained all these years of my PhD, my master, my bachelor, and my present. At that time, I was also in postdoc. So, what type of project I was undergoing, and keep in mind that whatever you explain about the professional experience and the skills, it should be in line with the position that you apply. For example, you have the skill of AutoCAD, but the present position does not need AutoCAD. So it's not beneficial to say that okay, you learn AutoCAD, because that's what they are not looking into. They will look or they are looking into the specific skills for which they have shortlisted your CV. So tell all those skills that are very relevant and very specific, and also any other extra achievement that's relevant for this position, and say that in the end that because of these skills you are confident that you are very much fit for this position, and that's what I also told. The other question that came just off this was that why do you want to join this company? And this is a very general question that it will always begin with. So what I answer is that I have specifically explained the position and the requirement with the skills of the particular job and the particular role. And then I said that since these skills I have already gained, and I see myself as a fit for this position, so I am very much looking into very positively and enthusiastically that that I want to join this company in this position. And this company has a legacy of technological development or in the particular field of renewable energy. That's what my expertise and my subject. So I see my future and growth in the company with this position. So you should also relate your skills and your background with the requirements of the position and the company that you are targeting far ahead from the present. Then there comes that from the HR, that what was my present role and what I was exactly doing. So at that time when I was applying for the interview, I already have I already got a postdoc position. I already had that position, and that's what I told them, that okay, right now I am working as a postdoc in Catholic University of Leuven, Belgium, and I have recently submitted my PhD thesis in this particular month, and this is my present position, and I am involved in a European Union project. So I explained the project and my role in the project, and then I also related this project with my PhD thesis work, and then I explained that how this role is very much suitable, and how with this role presently as a postdoc I see the position in the company where I was being interviewed. Then HR was convinced with me, and then they asked me the question that about my contract, the present contract at that time, so for the postdoc, and they asked that is this a definite contract or an indefinite contract. So I explained that it's a definite contract because postdoc has a definite end period. So I explained that this contract is going to finish in a particular month of the year, and I am ready, and you can also tell that I am ready to join, because the next question after this question was that when do you think you can join the company, and then that's what I put. Okay, since this contract is going to finish in this month of the year, so I explained that I want to visit my parents in my home country, so I will take a vacation, because I know that when once I join the company, I can only take vacation or leave after 6 months of probation. So I want to visit my country earlier, and then after I come back from my home country, I can join from a particular month and date of that year. So it's very important to tell the HR that the exact month and the exact date, if you have something in mind, the date. But yeah, exact month will be very much good for them, because this will give an estimate to them that how much time do they require. So, and if your contract is indefinite, for example, permanent contract, and you want to switch your company and join this company, then you can tell, okay, this is my indefinite contract. And the notice period, you can mention that there is a notice period of 2 months, and I can, once you shortlist my name for the final requirement, and then you can give the notice period, and then you can join the company. So this will give a very much good indication about the date of your joining. And again, an advice that be very clear and be truthful to you, to yourself, and to them as well, that when can you join, and this will give a very good impression. And because I explained them that my contract is definite, and I can join from this month of the year, after I come back after a 1 month vacation, after finishing this present contract. So this will give a very much good opinion about your joining to HR. The next question that I was interviewed, and it was on the table, was about my postdoc and my PhD, and it was something like that you are working as a postdoc, and that is a pure research and development, but we are looking for someone who can handle pressure, and then who can deliver time-bound tasks and deliverables, who can be industry oriented. So how do you see yourself as a fit into this role? So this question will be asked to every PhD and postdoc guys, in my opinion, and that the same I was asked also. And then I explained that this postdoc position is also a definite contract. So I am involved in a European Union project which has a definite end date. That means I have to deliver the tasks and the milestones and all the deliverables within the time frame. So I am working in a time-bound manner, and I always work in the time-bound manner. So I related my PhD, which was also a Marie Curie fellowship. It was also a time-bound fellowship, so I had to finish in 3 years. And then I also said to the HR that see my PhD degree was also in 3 years, and I joined in 2014, and then I finished my thesis in 2017, so exactly in 3 years. And you can see that I have always worked in time-bound manner, so there is no difficulty from my side in delivering the tasks and handling the pressure, because PhD is also in itself is at most sheer pressure. So I joined the present position and the PhD position to target their question of time-bound deliverable and handling the pressure and industry-oriented skill, because my PhD was completely oriented towards industry problem, and I solved in my thesis the problem that will be and are being faced by the industry. The HR put up to me was like it's the same question as the previous one, but in a different way. Something like R&D is more relaxed, but the present job requires a lot of commitment. So how would you show your commitment to this job? And so you can see that it's the question, this one and the last one are more or less the same, but they are asked in a different way. And why were they asking this question? That they wanted a solid statement or a solid answer from me, and which I already gave in the last question, but they wanted to check now that about my consistency, that am I consistent towards my answer, towards my commitment, towards my time-bound deliverable, and will I be able to handle the pressure what I explained in the last question. So remember that you should be consistent during the interview about what you already said and what you are going to say when the question is more or less the same. So again, I explained my commitment by saying that, see, I am involved in the present project as a postdoc, and this is a European Union project, and this project is going to finish in a particular month of the year, so I cannot leave this job before that time, and that because I want to finish that job, and I want to finish the task that I was assigned and for which I was hired, and I can only join your company after that period of time. This actually I tried to show them the commitment for the present job position, because if you are not able to show the commitment for the present job, then how will you able to show the commitment for the next or for the job that you are being interviewed? And that's what I put this thing in front of them like this one, that that I want to finish this, and then only I am ready to join your company or the position that you are interviewing me. And so that this way you can put your statement, you can try to convince them that you have all the sort of skills as a committed person, as a person who can handle the pressure, who is more towards the time-bound deliverable, who can manage the team and can cooperate and coordinate with the team. So this is very much important to them. Then the other question that can be put to you on the table can be something like that: what will you learn in this new role? So you have to be very much clear before you are being interviewed that this position will give you what in terms of skills, in terms of knowledge, in terms of experience. So you should be very much you should quantify this achievement in the present role, and then you should explain about the skills that you will learn, the experience that you will gain, something like more insights about the project, about the overall market scenario, and that's what I try to answer them like this, that I have a very solid background of technical. I have all those skills that you require, and I manage the time, the team, and I can coordinate. But what I am missing is a client relationship, because still now I am involved in research and development aspect of the project. Although I was involved with many industries in the consortium during my PhD and during the present project, but in terms of end user or end client, I have not been involved. So in this present position, I want to see myself to interact with the client more, to know about their perspective, to know what they want exactly from the industry, and from me as a team, and from me as a person, as an individual, and also as a team member. So I want to learn this aspect in the present role, and that was a very much a good trigger point for them, because they liked it, and that's what they also said to me at a later stage. Then I was put up this question, like, what skills do you possess and how did you acquire these skills? And they asked this because it is already in the CV, but they want to ask this question again, that to see that how much consistent I am with respect to CV and with respect to what I am saying. Because when you apply for many industry position, you forget that which CV had you sent. So and then you try to think, okay, what was the CV that I sent to this for this position, and so you try to sometimes say the skills that you have given for other position and not for this position. So always remember, keep a printed version of your CV in front of you when you are being interviewed, so that you can correlate and you can directly cite your CV, and you can say that on page number 1 at this point, and point number 2 at this point I have this skill. And that's what I did, that I had a printed version of the CV, and I kept the CV in front of me. And then since it was a telephonic interview, so I told them that you can see on page number 2 that I have skills, this technical skills, this simulation skills, these hardware skills, and I have done this skill. And then you relate your skill with the position that you hold. You cannot just escape by saying the skills. You have to explain how did you learn it, and that's what I did. I explained how did I learn those skills, and that's what will make them convinced that yes, this skill should come out of the particular project, out of particular thesis, out of particular dissertation. And then relating this will also put you in a very strong position with your technical and with your extra curricular skills and soft skills. This question that I'm going to put is very common, and you might have gone through this question a lot of time about telling the strength and weakness. And you should have at least one strength and one weakness in your mind. Never say that you have no weaknesses at all, because this will give a bad impression to the HR that you don't know about yourself, and then that's what you should have at least one weakness, and you should have one strength in your mind while you are being interviewed. Regarding the strength, I answered that I have always finished my task, and I have always delivered the task on time. And I know how to manage time effectively, which you can see from my PhD, which was a time-bound PhD thesis, which you can see from my postdoc, which is also a time-bound project. So I have always involved in time, and that's what I know, that this time-bound deliverable is very important for the industry, and you should always stress towards your sticking towards the time, your commitment towards the project. In terms of weakness, you can say in two ways. Either you can say your weakness which is not at all related to this position, to your professional life. You can say that you hate to do a particular like washing task at your home, which is not which is an answer, but not so professional and technical answer. So I chose something like this, that to answer the weakness, that that I always try to deliver the tasks in time, and I adhere to the time bound deliverable. But in order to give my 100%, and in order to deliver those tasks, sometimes I spend sleepless nights, and to finish the task. So it shows, I represented, or I highlighted this as a weakness to them, but to them it wasn't a weakness, it was like for a strength for them. So it seems, it seems to me that they like this this statement of my weakness, which is good for their overall project delivery. So you can answer something like that. The other question that I was asked about, that where do I see myself in the coming years, and I answered this question something like this, and you should also try to look into the role and the seniority level that you are applying, and based on the seniority level you should choose where do you want to see yourself. And I said to them, so based on my seniority level of the applied position, I answered the question that I see myself in the next 3 years as the leader of the entire team, in terms of leading the whole project. And in the next coming 6 years I want to become the manager, and move into the managerial position, to make the team stronger and to build the team. And this type of subsequent rise and increase in the profile is quite logical. The next question that I was asked about the salary expectation, and this here starts like the HR will try to get and to assess your expectation, and will try to also trap you into kind of expectation in terms of salary, in terms of package, in terms of CTC and the present salary transfer. Remember what I told you earlier, that never reveal any number, any figure in this stage of HR round. And in terms of answering this question, I explained something like this, that at this moment I have no figure, I have no number in my mind which I think I should tell you as my salary expectation. And I completely believe in your company's assessment in terms of package, and I have true confidence that you will come up with a number that is market and as per industry standard. But if they ask a question, okay, how much do you draw at the moment at your present employer, then you can reject this question, and you can say that you don't want to answer. I said that I don't prefer to answer this question as I feel uncomfortable, and my present employer, I am still an employee of my present employer, and my present employer does not want me to disclose the salary the salary that I draw right now. You can also say something like this, that you don't want to discuss at this moment, and you are more concentrated on the job profile, and you want to discuss this at a later stage. But as of now, you don't have any figure, any number. But sometimes they can also intrigue you by saying that other candidates have also said their expectation, they have conveyed their expected package. So do you also want to do this? In my opinion, you should say that you don't prefer, it's not the right time, it's not the right moment to say, because if you say some figure, then you will be at a loss, because as I told you, the one who present the first figure is not in a comfortable situation, and as a candidate you should not do this as of now. A stage will come in the last leg of this round of interviews where you can then negotiate the salary expectation, and I have a separate episode on this part. Then the question that I was also got, are you able to relocate? Do you feel any difficulty in moving from one place or any kind of family issues? And I answered that no, I have no difficulty, I can relocate easily. And I backed my statement by saying that to pursue my PhD in terms of higher education, I moved from my country into the country where I did my PhD, and then to pursue postdoc, to do the postdoc, I moved from that my previous country of my PhD to this present country in Belgium. So I have no any problem of relocation. I have no family issues. I am single still, so I can move very swiftly, very quickly. Um, and when I give this example backing my previous statement, then it makes a solid statement, so that to convince them that yes, I'm able to relocate. The other question that I was also asked about my work permit, and when am I ready to join? So I explained that no, I don't have work permit for the country where I am being interviewed, or I was interviewed at that time. So I said that yes, I have a residence permit of the present country in Belgium, and in terms of I'm ready to move. I said that my contract is going to finish in May, let's say May 2018. So I want to take a 1 month vacation. I want to go back to my home country to meet my parents, and then after 1 month I am ready to join from 1st of July 2018. And giving a specific date and a specific month is very helpful to the candidate, to me in my perspective, and to the HR, because they can then think that how fast and how swiftly and quickly they can move the interview rounds. Another question was about would you like to settle here in this country and apply for citizenship? So when this question was asked, this is an indication that they want to, or they might give you a permanent contract or indefinite contract. And at a later stage, when they offered me, or when they revealed the offer, then it was indeed a permanent contract. So I concluded that this statement or this question is a kind of indication. So I answered that yes, I would like to settle in this country, and then I would like to be here for a longer duration as a permanent contract. And indeed, my preference will be to settle and to work here, and to nurture and then grow in terms of career perspective. The other question, just very close to this question, is something like they asked me that their business is also in India, so would you like to move to India in that term? And this question, this question is just after the previous question about settlement in their country. They want to test you. They want to see how much consistent are you in your response, and do you really want to be there for a longer duration, or will you look for another change? So I answered this question in a very in a different way, something like this: that if the company sees an opportunity for me in India, and there is a specific position for which the company views me that I can handle and I am able to handle that project, so I will also analyze and I will look into the decision of the company, and once I come to the conclusion, then indeed I have no problem in moving to India to carry that task and that objective of the company. So I put the ball in their court that it will be their decision, and if yes, then I have no problem in taking any responsibility. Then this question is also very important, that are you looking for any other position somewhere else? This question is very tricky and also very important, and you should answer this question very smartly, because this reflects your job search activeness, and this reflects how much uh, serious you are about the position. So I answered something like this, that yes, I am looking for another position in another company, to give them a feeling of insecurity, but at the same time to reassure that I am interested in this position by saying that, but that I am not looking for any other position in any other company, but I am very much specific, like this position in your company, because I have right set of skills and professional experience and educational experience which exactly fit into this role. So I am very much interested in this position, and I see myself as a perfect fit. And then there will be last question, that about any questions from my side. And when they ask you that do you have any questions, then never leave this opportunity, because this opportunity uh, will reassure that you are really looking into accepting the offer by asking questions about the team, about the project, about the team members, about their qualification and professional experience, about projects in different countries, about percentage of travel, but don't ask questions regarding CTC, regarding packages, regarding salary, regarding any financial assistance. This is not the stage to discuss this type of questions. This stage you should try to know more about the position. So this was all about the first HR round, which can be telephonic or Skype, and I tried to share my experience where I was interviewed in many companies. I hope this will help you, and you might like it. Again, this is my opinion and this was my perspective, so you can also innovate your answer to these questions, but these questions are kind of a basic and standard questions. Please do like, share and subscribe this video and the channel. See you in the next episode.